A driver just won a race at NASCAR's highest level. He strung together 3 straight top 10 finishes, and right now, he might not have a seat anywhere in the sport come Daytona. That's not a hot take. That's Dale Earnhardt Jr. on record, saying the garage is failing one of its own. We need to talk about Josh Berry. Here's where things stand. Wood Brothers Racing already told Josh Berry he's out. Jesse Love is sliding into that number 21 Ford for 2027. Berry's response, he didn't sulk. He went out and ripped off 3 consecutive top 10 finishes, including a 4th place run at Iowa that snapped a 2-decade drought for that team on short tracks. And yet, as of right now, there is no clear landing spot waiting for him. Not in Cup, not in trucks, nowhere confirmed. That's the situation Dale Earnhardt Jr. addressed head on, and he didn't hold back. To understand why this stings, you have to go back further than this season. Berry wasn't handed anything. He built his name grinding through the late model ranks in the Southeast before climbing into NASCAR's National Series. His real breakout moment came in 2023, stepping in for an injured Alex Bowman and immediately validating himself with a win in the All-Star Open, good enough to punch his ticket into the actual All-Star race. That performance was loud enough that Stewart-Haas Racing handed him one of the most storied numbers in the sport, the number 4, as the full-time replacement for Kevin Harvick starting in 2024. He didn't win that year, but he raced his way into serious Rookie of the Year conversation. Then the ground shifted under him. Stewart-Haas Racing announced it was shutting down entirely at the end of that season. Nearly 300 people, Berry included, suddenly needing a new plan. He landed at Wood Brothers Racing for 2025, and it looked like the right move fast. He won at Las Vegas in just his 5th start with the team, nearly stole one at New Hampshire, and finished the year 16th in points with a playoff spot. This year told a different story for most of the season. The Wood Brothers car struggled for speed, and Berry kept getting collected in incidents that weren't his fault, and outside of a top 10 at the Daytona 500 and a solid Martinsville run, results were rough. Then right as the team told him his time there was ending, he turned it on. That's the part that has people like Dale Jr. genuinely frustrated. This isn't a guy fading out. This is a guy peaking at the exact moment the industry seems to be looking the other way. Let's break down what's actually happening in the silly season, because this is where it gets uncomfortable for NASCAR as a business. Look at the math. Joe Gibbs Racing is locked in with Hamlin, Bell, Briscoe, and Ty Gibbs. Hendrick is set with Larson, Elliott, Byron, and Bowman, with Connor Zilisch already lined up as the long-term successor once Bowman eventually steps back. Trackhouse has Chastain, Van Gisbergen, and Zilisch on a bridge deal. Front Row re-signed its full lineup. Spire kept Hocevar. Even the truck ranks have tightened, with Hayek locking down Stenhouse. Add it up, and there simply isn't an obvious opening for a proven Cup Series race winner. That's the uncomfortable truth Dale Jr. pointed to. It's not that Berry lacks the resume. He's got 5 Xfinity Series wins and a Cup win to his name. It's that the timing of his release put him behind a roster cycle that had already locked into place months earlier. Strategically, that's a real risk for every team that passed. If Richard Childress Racing is genuinely one of the only realistic Cup options left standing, that tells you the market moved faster than performance could keep up with. In a results-driven sport, that's a bad look. It means contract timing is starting to outweigh actual on-track evidence. Is this dangerous for Berry specifically? Somewhat. A step down to the Xfinity Series wouldn't be a disaster. He's already proven he can win there, but it would be a step backward at a moment where he's clearly driving like a Cup-caliber talent. The next few months of races become an audition tape, whether he likes it or not, and every top 10 he strings together is now doing double duty, point scoring for Wood Brothers, and resume building for whoever's paying attention in 2027 planning meetings. The reaction online has split right down the middle. One side is fully with Dale Jr., pointing out that a Cup-winning driver posting his best short-track finish for the team in 20 years should not be scrambling for employment in the same breath. The other side is more pragmatic, arguing that NASCAR silly season doesn't wait for hot streaks, and the teams build multi-year plans around development pipelines, not late-season heaters. Either way, the fact that a legend like Earnhardt is publicly calling out the industry means his conversation isn't dying down anytime soon. Best case, Berry surge continues into the fall. A Cup team currently sitting on the fence, possibly Richard Childress Racing, sees enough to open a seat, and he walks into Daytona in February with a full-time ride and something to prove. Worst case, nothing opens up in Cup or trucks, and Berry is forced into a downgrade to Xfinity, essentially restarting the clock on a career that already proved itself at the top level once. The gap between those two outcomes is enormous, and it may come down to just a handful of races left on the schedule. So here's the real question. Should performance right now matter more than a contract signed 6 months ago? Drop your prediction in the comments. Does Josh Berry get a full-time Cup or truck seat before Daytona, or is he stepping down to Xfinity in 2027? If you want the silly season breakdowns before anyone else covers them, make sure you're subscribed to SportsWire USA. This story is far from over.